Thank you for watching our video. This show is sponsored by DreamStream. DreamStream is a unique platform where creators can monetize their video content. All creators rely on support from people like you. Join us on the DreamStream platform to support your favorite creator and view the episode without any adverts. Follow the link in the description for a how-to guide. DreamStream, a place where you can create yourself.
Hello and welcome to the Good Vibes Only show. I'm Kgoroeadira. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition of the show. Today, as usual, I'm super excited. I am joined by Zanele Sibiya. She is Mrs. Globe South Africa, and I truly appreciate her presence. Look how gorgeous you look. How are you?
I'm all good. Just appreciating the weather, as cold as it is.
Oh my goodness.
I'm fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
Zanele, now let's give our viewers a bit of context.
Yes.
I know a lot of people hate this question, but we really need to get through it, you know. Tell me a bit about yourself. Who is Zanele? Where are you from?
Well, Zanele is a mother of two. I'm a flight attendant by profession, and then I do modeling, acting, an MC, and also a presenter. I grew up in South Africa as a whole because I was
everywhere.
I was everywhere. I was born in KZN, and then I had my time in the Eastern Cape and also in Gauteng, right? So where obviously my schooling became in Gauteng, and then my life started off in Gauteng. And then from there was the career of the flight attendancy, and then the pageantry world entered as well. But then that entered with the unfortunate lies of disappointments. That's how I entered Mrs. Globe South Africa, and I won it in 2022. And that's why we're here.
Now, before we get into the Mrs. Globe aspect,
Yes.
you did speak about you being a flight attendant, right? You were in that industry for years.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that journey. Why was that something you were always passionate about, or it's just something you dribbled upon?
No, actually, I've always wanted to fly. It's one of those things where you just, when you see a plane, you're just like, you're always in awe.
Yeah.
Sometimes people used to say that you love the plane so much as if you were born inside.
Yes.
So I just decided, in fact, even me going through aviation was actually the mist of God itself, because how I got in was through a bursary.
Okay.
Which was seen by my late dad. He just saw that on TV and is like, listen, there's bursaries going in. I know you've always wanted to do this. Quickly go and apply and do that. And which I did. And fortunate enough, I got the bursary, got to study through my CAA aviation license, because you need to have a license first before you actually start flying, which a lot of people don't actually know that. And it's not like a driver's license.
Yeah.
You have courses, different courses that you go through, and then after that, doing all the courses, you have like a grand finale basically of tests that summarizes everything. And
I like that you say that, because a lot of people often think that if you want to be a flight attendant, they solely just focus on your looks and that's it.
No.
So there's a whole process to
There's
it.
a brain to it. And I
Yeah.
will tell people that with each course that you go through, you need to actually get 90% for your theories, and then practicals, everything needs to be 100%.
Yeah.
So as much as the ladies in the sky are so pretty, we've got brains.
Yeah. So what do the courses entail?
So we've got different courses. There's SCPT, which is for safety and security. We've got firefighting. Of course, we need to know how to fight fires in planes, because we're in the sky. We're not going to get professional. There's aviation medicine. We get medical problems and skies, and you need to know. And I always tell people that I think the most interesting thing about learning aviation medicine is the giving birth part.
Yeah.
Because it's like, the chance of bringing life in the sky. So you have to learn all of that. There's, of course, the swimming part of it. So all these courses are courses that prepare you for any type of emergencies. We are taught that we need to get out of a plane in 90 seconds if there's any emergency. And funny enough, even in normal life now, I'm always, whenever I get to like a new place, I'm always looking at my exits.
Is it?
Yes.
So it's
Like
engraved,
literally, it's
in your
engraved.
brain
Like literally,
now.
when I walk in a place that I've never been, I look at my exits. I look at where we can get together in case of emergency. I started looking at all your fire extinguishers. Like literally, I'm always aware of my surroundings.
Yeah.
So that's what it teaches you, and you just take it everywhere you go. You know. So I've done that for almost a decade. Yeah, 10 years. It's 10 years.
Sure.
10 years. Yeah.
Have there ever been any emergencies that you've experienced
You know,
through the 10 years? I'm sure though.
no, you know what? I've only had one.
Is it?
One. I've never had a death on board. I've never had a birth on board. I've only just had one emergency, and that emergency was not even an emergency that we were aware of.
Yeah.
We were flying, and apparently ATC said we just went missing. And they couldn't locate our plane.
Yeah.
For like a good, I think, 30 seconds of some sort.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we appeared. Everybody, when we landed, their eyes were just wide open. We're like, guys, what happened? Where were you? You know, and we were thinking, yeah, we're good. We're fine.
But this is so scary, because I've heard instances where a lot of planes have gone missing, you know, and they've just never been located since then. How was that experience for you, you know, being in that moment as well?
Now, the thing is, I think I just go with emotions. Generally, if something is going to happen, it's going to happen to you. You know, I'm a big believer to God. Whenever I move anywhere, I need to structure my life with God. Whenever I step, I pray. I just pray for protection. I pray for my walks. I need to pray. So sometimes taking upon what is happening in the world and putting yourself is very stressful. And that means I have lack in faith into who I trust my life into, you know. So I never really put it in my head, so much so that my mother always reprimanded me and watching, you know, those shows where there's, you know, crashes of planes. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I can watch those. I'm all good, you know. In fact, it teaches me of certain things that I wouldn't have known that it would happen on board. And I just pick up, you know, a few little details like, oh, actually, I saw that. And, you know, so no, I'm never really, you know, scared or take the emotion of what happens in this world. Otherwise, I wouldn't be living my life.
Now, Zanele, what has that journey taught you? Because the hospitality industry is a bit tricky, you know, emotionally as well. It's a bit draining. What has that journey taught you about yourself?
Yeah. One major element, I'm very patient. One very major element, I'm very patient. So much so that I always say, you know, when people walk into the airport, I feel like all brain and brain functions just goes off, because like I look at adults acting in the most, I can't even say childish way, because children even act sometimes more better, but it becomes such a way where you're like, okay, come, breathe, Zanele. Let's deal with what is happening. Sometimes, of course, you are dealing with first-time flyers. People are stressed. There's a lot going on in the world. So I've learned that I am very patient. I am super patient, and I can actually put myself in a level where I can calm myself down and be like, you know, step back. This is a human. He or she might be going through something major, and they're not really realizing what's going on around them. So you also need to step back and actually acknowledge that this is another human, and take it from there. So patience for me is one of those big things, and I use it every day. You know, I use it every day. I have to. I've got 2 kids.
You have to.
I've got 2 kids. I've got 2 children. I have no choice. I need to just
on a daily basis.
You know, so I need to.
Now let's get into Mrs. Globe South Africa.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier on that a few things happened for you to join the pageant.
Yes.
Tell us about that. Take us through that journey. Why did you feel like this is a brand that best associates with who you are?
All right. So now, generally, where I was in life, you wouldn't think pageantry will be my salvation. Let's just start there. So where I was at a point of loss. So with COVID came a lot, you know. As I was saying, flight attendancy, the company I worked for, got retrenched. I moved to a second company. That company got liquidated.
Sure.
I'm left now jobless. I was married for 12 years. My marriage was attacked as well. Got divorced. That's a loss again. Lost my house. And with the COVID, I also, had COVID almost 2 times.
Yeah.
So that's my health taken away as well. So there was a lot going on. And I was just, as I was saying, I'm very spiritual. I was just talking to God and be like, okay,
What's going on?
What's going on? What's the aim? What did I do wrong? You know? Going through my socials, I come through an ad saying Mrs. Globe, South Africa. I'm like, what is this? Why am I here? Why am I all of a sudden looking at a pageant, something I'm not really interested in, whatever, regardless the fact that I model, but pageantry has never been my line,
Need a photo studio? The Dream Stream Photo Studio includes a 2.7-meter PVC backdrop in black and white and is available for only 115 rands per hour. You can also rent a Canon R6 and lights. All rentals are for studio use only. Terms and conditions apply. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za.
Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is Son of Augustine.
When I go through it, I'm looking at this pageant. It says it's for married, divorced women, women with children, to empower women. It's to, it's got its criteria, and it's ticking every box, And right there, and I'm thinking, what? I want something that can bring back who Zanele is. I've invested my life to everybody else, but aside from myself. And I felt, let me go into this, let me bring back Zanele, let me bring back my power, let me bring back my joy. And in the very same breath, I'm like, what, as much as I've had all these losses, what normal people would think as failure, it's just my redirection in life, and it redirected me to my pageant world. And ever since I started the journey of Mrs. Globe, even as a finalist, every time with my fellow sisters, my sisterhood from Mrs. Globe, there was always something that I got from them.
Yeah.
Even though I was just not in my comfort zone. But then I also still, in the very same breath, I remembered one of my various speakers, Vusi Sembowaya, saying that if you walk in a room and you feel like you don't deserve to be there and you're uncomfortable, that's the room you stay in.
Yeah.
And that's when I stayed. I was like, nope, I deserve to be there.
Exactly.
I'm as good enough as anybody else that entered this pageantry. This is my journey of rebuilding Uzanele Wakasibi. And that's how I entered.
Sure.
And that's how I entered.
And what are you taking away from this, though, as well? Emotionally, that is. What are you taking away from this?
Listen, this journey has built me immensely. That is just one thing. I'm able to walk out in pride. I'm able to talk to women about my story, about what it has done for me. It is not the norm. Some people be like, go to therapy, go to, it's not the norm, But at the end of the day, who's to say there's a normal thing to do to rebuild yourself? Yeah. It has done such incredible works for me, so much so that I can share my story, and also I can be a role model to my children. Now my children are looking at me thinking, if mommy sat down and just said, oh, woe is me, the world, you know, that's what I'm teaching my children.
To give up.
To give up in life. Don't step forward. Don't push. Don't do anything. When life hits you, just sit down. Just sit down, just relax. It hits you, stand for. Yeah. So that was one thing that I needed to show women and young girls to say, listen, failure is not your full stop. There's a comma there. You still need to get moving. You need to move, dust yourself up, put on your crown, whether physical crown or your hair, whatever crown it is, we're all queens. You need to move. We move in life. We don't stop for nothing.
There's no stopping.
Not at all.
I love the fact that you say you need to talk to your children, and that's one of the things that you're passionate about.
Yes.
Speaking to young girls and showing them the way.
I am.
What is the importance in speaking to young girls, making sure that you transform their way of thinking?
Now the thing is, like I've got 2 girls, you know, and I've always I look at them as my, lack of a better word, guinea pigs.
Yeah.
You know, I look at how I engage with them. One is 15, she's a teenager. The little one is toddler. So I've got like best of both worlds.
Yes.
I get to engage with literally, you know, both people, like at a teen zone, at a toddler zone. And I realize, especially my teen, that every time I talk to her, I'm actually planting a seed. I talk to her about how to carry yourself. And I have a conversation with her and just say, Nana, when you walk in a room,
Walk with pride.
walk like you've got purpose, you know? When you sit down, even when you you know,
I love being in her presence.
yes, there's
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
you know, and that's what I have conversations with young girls that, listen, look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, manifest greatness.
Yeah.
Manifest greatness so much so that when you step in a place, people do not know what to do with themselves, you know? And that's what we do when we plant seeds.
Yeah.
Because as women, we are great. But if we learn that from a very young age, we're not gonna have women who do not know where they are in life or their place in life, who are just moving around because life is
For the
moving.
sake of it, yeah.
But if you instill something at a small child to say, listen, life is like this. Structure your life like this. You are literally raising a queen that is gonna just take upon life and just run with it. And I always say, also, there's a saying in Zulu that
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we mold our
Yes.
children at a very young age,
Yes.
you know. And another thing, Kat, we're not raising our children for ourselves. We are raising them for the community. And we also, like I say, it takes a village to raise a child. So if I raise a child in a certain way, this child is not staying with me. She's gonna go somewhere else. She's gonna go somewhere else. So she becomes a representation of me. So if I can instill that not only to my children, but many girls out there, to say, when you go out into the world, make sure you have a stamp and a stand mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the benefits of Mrs. Globe.
Yes.
Off air, she was telling me how she's going to miss the outfits.
Yes.
She is going to
Yes.
miss the outfits that she's getting.
Definitely.
What are some of the other benefits that you get being Mrs. Globe South Africa?
So now, I didn't know much of me being a speaker,
Yeah.
you know. As much as I love talking, those are one of the benefits. I get to engage with vast amounts of female women, in fact, in people in general, you know. I get to move in spaces where I don't think I would have moved on my own, but Lord be the glory, that's what I'm doing. Of course, all my designers and all this, you know, right now I'm wearing Victoria, and, you know, they,
Beautiful,
you
by
know,
the way.
they are, thank you so much. They are just keeping me, you know, in line, you know, very clean, very beautiful. My Kia sponsors, I love them. If you see me in a Kia, you must know that's my sponsor. I'm running around with my sponsor. There's just a lot that I've gained, you know, my sisters, my sisterhood. I've still been called, you know, hey Queen, how we doing? What are you doing? You know, I've gained so much in this journey, and
I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show. I ain't never
Are you a musician?
all I know. My eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise.
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour.
We work for a fall in line. We gon' give it all until the end of time.
It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply, and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
just want to keep it in, and it's one of those things that I'm just gonna pack it in my memory, but it has jump-started who Zanele is, and it's I'm just loving the journey.
Yeah. But now, after your reign comes, right? You did say it's in November.
Yes, it should be November. Yeah. November.
What can people expect? What do you see going forward for yourself, since you've planted or you've laid this major foundation for yourself? What should we expect from you going forward?
Listen, I'm excited about myself. Every morning I wake up like 3 o'clock when I do my prayers. I'm just like, "Woo, Lord, what's next?" I can feel it in my blood. It's so exciting. I'm still continue to pursue my passions, my modeling, my acting. But I think right now, because before it wasn't as serious, because I was still flying a lot, even inclusive with me flying, I might go back to aviation. We never know. The Lord might prevail somewhere, because I love flying. I love flying. But I am pushing hard in the industry itself, I'm really pushing very hard in the industry and the acting realm. I think the first time when people saw me act, people were so shocked. My first role, like, I'm like, yeah, girl.
And you kill it.
It's all in me. I love the arts. I really genuinely love the arts. So with the modeling structure, and I always say, guys, modeling is just not posing, and there's a lot to it. There's art. You need to be passionate about it, so much so that whenever, let's say, I go to designers and then they just probably want to take pictures and I pose and whatever, some of the clients will be like, "Oh, I could never do that for so many hours." I'm like, you know what, you do things out of passion. When you're passionate about something, you don't find it as work. You don't find it as straining or it bothers you.
You could stand for 10 hours. You wouldn't mind.
Listen, I'm probably the one that makes the photographers tired. Be like, no, but we're not done. Are we? It's because I love it. I love it so much. And whenever I put myself into something, I make sure that I put my whole heart and passion in it. So there's a lot for me that is about to happen after I've thingy placed down my reign to my next assessor. And I'm just excited about my future. I'm really excited about my future.
Yeah, now I want you rather to tell us about following your passion, because there's an event that you're going to be speaking at, right?
Yes.
And you're going to speak about passion and the importance of following your passion. So tell us about that. I want you to also just tell women why they should do that for themselves, the fulfillment that it brings.
So the events that I'm going to be in on the 9th, it's called Women Empowerment. So I love the fact that the power part of it is in bold, because that's what we need to do as women, take our power back, and taking your power back is as simply as doing a self-care routine. And this is one of the things I emphasize to people, is that take a day to take care of yourself. I do what I call self-care Sundays. So on a Sunday, it's my time. I tell my little minions, listen, mommy needs at least 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours.
Yes, And this is where I go through. I do my face, my facial regime. I, open up the bath. It's candles. It's Bible. It's my time. And what I'm doing right there, it's me reading a book or reading my Bible, but what I'm doing is fueling myself for the week, because we have a lot that we do. We work, we mothers, we need to, we're super. We need
superpowers.
We just need a cape and fly, or be invisible or read minds or something, we're just superheroes. So it's fueling, your time. So this is what I mean by taking your power back. Little things like self-care is taking power back. And I'm also big on fitness. Because I believe that body, mind, and soul works together. You need to sort everything out so that you're aligned. You need to fix your body, fix your body, either yoga, gym, whatever it is, but deal with the body as itself. Your mind, read a book, a Bible, something. Have something, that you are grasping from, that, elevates your mind, that makes it much bigger. Your soul, spiritually, whether it's prayer, meditation, or whatever it is, that you gravitate to. Do that. Be just a whole full person. And that's how we start taking our power back.
Yes.
And everything else that comes into the world, trust me, will find you very stern because you already made sure that you yourself are ready for whatever the world has for you. You know,
Whatever it even throws at you.
listen, it would. So I feel the high tea, the woman empowerment high tea, is going to be one of those where we remind women to say, take your power back, whatever that power looks like to you. But take it back.
Yeah.
And I feel like with the panel of women that are going to be there, we are going to be channeling different elements and looking in different ways of how that will be done in taking power back. And generally, you know, when you're in the midst of great women, listening to them, telling stories, it builds you up, you know, it builds you up because you always want to be, you know, around greatness, however that looks like. You just want to be around greatness. So I'm very excited about the event, really excited.
Now, what advice do you have for someone that's watching you right now and wants to be a part of a pageant or join a pageant? What advice would you give them?
So I always say, you must always know your why.
Yeah.
And when I tell people that, they're like, what do you mean why? Why you entered? And this question, why, can be very simple when I ask it.
Yeah.
But then it's very, very deep in a sense that when I say, why did you enter? Your end goal, like, I want to wear a crown. Why do you want to wear a crown? Oh, because I want to change, you know, myself. But why do you want to change yourself? So it goes deeper and deeper. And within the journey of a pageantry, you would land into your final why to say, actually, I thought I wanted to win the crown. I thought the end goal, my why was the crown, the everything else that comes in. But there's more to it. My why is here. And that's what I always say. Whenever you enter a pageant that is very formidable in growth of a woman, you must know your why, because that will take you places and you'll leave a legacy like that. Because even when you win the crown and go through the journey itself after the crown and leave a legacy, people will also even know your why, and you'll be proud as well yourself. Be like, you know what, I walked that gracefully and I left a legacy, and this is what my why was. Yeah.
Zanele, I could talk to you forever. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Truly appreciate you. And you, our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. From me, Kgoroeadira. Until next week.